Welcome to Stanislaus Football Weekly, and now for your hosts, Joe Cortez and Brian VanderBeek.
Hi, welcome to the show. I'm Joe, this is Brian, and we've made it through week one of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs, and we've narrowed our field to, well, how many teams?
We started with 25, we have 14 now. And by the way, welcome back. This guy ran a half marathon yesterday.
I didn't run a half marathon.
You survived a half.
I survived. I ran and walked a half marathon down in Disneyland. It was my first and last.
There you go.
But I did it, and I got a really nice medal.
Yeah. Are you feeling kind of goofy afterwards?
Yeah, I am.
There you go. There you go. So 14 out of the 25 advance, and we're going to tell you how many are going to go on to the next round. VOL, TVL, CCAA all got all their teams through. How about that?
That's right.
The VOL, by the way, won all four of their games. All four of their games go to running clock. The total scores for those games, 231 to 69, and I was at one of those.
You were. You had the kind of the clunker last week.
It was. Yeah, that Oakdale game just was. Oakdale just really dominated Pacheco. Pacheco's a fine team, you could see it, but Oakdale was just really too much.
I kind of thought there might be a little more of a fight there. You know,
Yeah.
Pacheco's real physical.
Yeah.
And but
Oakdale's
a machine.
Oakdale's got it going right now. Let's start with Division I. We've got one team left in Division I, and it's your alma mater, Merced. And Monterey Trail is the lowest seed still anywhere in the playoffs. And they're going to visit your Bears.
And they're going to get their trails beat too.
That's what it sounds like. Merced has reached the second round for the first time since 2008, and they're going to go through the semis.
And then they're going to face, in all likelihood, Folsom High and their great quarterback, Jake Browning, who is a national star. He went over last week. He threw for 8 touchdown passes in the win against Stag. He now has more than 200 touchdown passes, 200 in his high school career. He threw for 5,000 yards as both a sophomore and junior, and is well on his way to doing it again. He only has 4 picks
That's
this
amazing.
year.
That's
64 TDs, 4 picks.
That's amazing.
They're very good. And but anyway, that's cart before the horse stuff. I think Merced gets by Monterey Trail this week.
Yeah, the Browning rifle. Yeah.
That's right.
Division II quarterfinals. Downey is facing kind of what Merced might face next week when they're going up against Grant.
Yeah.
Now, Grant, surprisingly, we were watching the scores as they were coming in Friday night. Grant struggling a little bit, only led Patterson by 6 points midway through the third quarter.
Correct. They had 3 touchdowns called back at that point. But you're right. They were in a tussle, and credit to Patterson. But it got a little lopsided toward the end,
it did.
as we thought it might.
Well, this is a rematch of a first-round matchup last year, which was won by Grant 52-14. And Downey's looking to reach the semifinals for the first time since 1985. I don't think they do it, but great year for the Knights.
Absolutely. I don't think they get by a really talented Grant team. And Grant and Folsom probably end up meeting in that NorCal D1 Bowl.
That'll be fun.
That will
be a lot of fun. Let's move on to the Division III quarterfinals, or as we call it, the
VOL bracket.
Yeah, Sacramento, number 5 seed at Manteca. They played last year's Division III title game, and Manteca rolled 49-6. Now, Joe Davidson up at the Sacramento Bee says that Manteca's going to roll again this year. I haven't seen Sacramento this year, obviously.
I'm not sure they roll.
Yeah.
I think last year's team was a better team, a very special team, but I think they get by Sacramento.
Yeah. Buffs have won 5 straight section playoff games.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
That's what you want.
Another quarterfinal, Vista Del Lago at number 3 Oakdale. Again, I saw Oakdale last week. They met in the Division III section title game in 2012, which Oakdale won 22-9.
And on their way to a
bowl,
to a state final.
To a state final. Oakdale has reached the second round for the 6th straight year. And that's an impressive stat. We've got more impressive stats along that same vein coming up later.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Oakdale gets by.
Oakdale gets by. And I think in the third one we're going to pick a VOL sweep here because Rio Linda is at Sierra. The Timberwolves are in the second round for the first time since 2012. And they last reached the semifinals. They did it in back-to-back years in 2008, 2009, and they're going to do it here in 2014 after they beat Rio Linda.
They will, and then that'll give us 3 VOL teams plus Central Catholic down in D4.
Yeah.
In the in the D3 semifinals.
Speaking of Division 4, and that's the first game we're looking at too, is the 4-1, the semifinals at Division 4 and low. Yeah, quarterfinals in Division 1, 2, 3. semifinals and 4 and below.
Right.
Escalon at Central Catholic. This is the 8th time these schools have met in the playoffs. Central's won 5 of the first 7. Central Catholic is in the second round for the 14th straight playoff appearance. Escalon is in the semifinals for the 16th straight playoff appearance. That's 16 straight years, 16 straight playoff appearances. Between the two, and I got to thank Will DeBoard from the section for a lot of these notes. Between the two, they are 102 and 30 combined playoff records between these two schools. That is incredible. Isn't that amazing?
That is incredible. And thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will, for this kind of stuff. Yeah, Escalon at Central Catholic. Escalon, great year. This is the end for Escalon. Central Catholic. It could be a good game. Escalon will scheme you to death.
Absolutely.
And
Librero's an old master.
Well, you know, Librero against Roger Canepa, two really, really tight friends, and I'm not sure how much they're talking this week. Probably only every other day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Central Catholic advances in this one. Los Banos, the number 3 seed at number 2 seed Sonora, another double local game. They've never met in the playoffs, but they've obviously met many, many times years ago as VOL rivals. And,
that's right.
And there might be some bad blood in the stands. That's long ago forgotten by these players. None of these players were around when Sonora and Los Banos had some bad blood between them years ago. Sonora is the home team. Long trip for Los Banos. I like Sonora in this game.
I'm going to go with Los Banos. I just think Los Banos is playing really well right now. And a little more battle-tested late in the season. That's a good point.
That's a good point. Division 5 semifinals. Houston at Bear River. Talk about a team that's come through adversity. Houston is in the second round for the first time since 2002, which is also the last time they reached the semifinals. Bear River has won their first round game for the first time in 9 years. I'm picking the upset here. Houston's going to Bear River. I like Houston the way they're playing right now.
I saw them once this year in a loss to Escalon. Very impressed with them. I think they can go and beat Bear River.
Yeah. And the other Division 5 semifinal, Mariposa at Colfax. Mariposa last reached the semifinals in 2005. Colfax struggled to beat Somerville in the first round. That was kind of an eye-opener, but they struggled to beat Somerville. Somerville beat Mariposa
early on. It was 47-41 first week. It was week 0.
Very close game. I just like Colfax at home after the long trip Mariposa.
That's a long trip, but I'm going to go with Mariposa. I think Mariposa rising up and beating LeGrand in the final week of the regular season did a lot for this team, kind of recentered them. I think they can pull it off.
Division 6 semifinals, Ripon Christian at Capital Christian. This is the first playoff meeting ever between these two schools. Ripon Christian didn't like its seed. Actually, more than that, it didn't like the way this whole thing was bracketed this year. Last year, Ripon Christian makes the D6 semifinals. This year, they're the number 5 seed and look up at Capital Christian. They look up at Bradshaw Christian, the team that beat them last year. And more than anything, they look up at Modesto Christian, which is the number 2 seed and still in my mind, the favorite to win it all. I just don't think Ripon Christian can get by Capital Christian.
I don't either. I think Capital Christian's a pretty talented group, and this will be it for RC.
The real intriguing one here is Bradshaw coming to Salida to face Modesto Christian. First appearance in the second round for Modesto Christian since their 2009 Bowl Championship year, and I think they roll. I think they're going to roll, and I think they're going to roll next week too. I'll make that prediction right now.
Roll. Define roll.
Roll. Well, last week I said they'd score 70 and got a little bit of flack for it, and then they scored 76.
Yeah, so you were wrong. Yeah.
At one point they had 70 points. So they scored at least 70. I think at least second round. I think they could score 60 this week.
So you're picking a blowout.
I'm picking a big one. I just don't see anybody stopping that offense. It's just different enough. Yes, it's a wing tee, but it's different enough where it's very difficult to scheme defensively to stop it.
I think MC wins. I'm not sure they score 60. I think they win by a couple touchdowns.
Okay, let's go to the Division 7 semifinals. Stone Ridge has to travel to play Delta of Clarksburg after Stone Ridge won their first playoff game in school history.
Yeah, congratulations to the Knights.
So you might think Stone Ridge traveling, they're the underdog. No, don't think that at all, because Stone Ridge has already beaten Delta 49-0 this year, and that game was in Merced. Yeah, they have to travel, so maybe they win 42-7 this time. I just don't think much of a game.
Yeah, Stone Ridge wins.
Yeah, you know what to Delta High? Name the Super Bowl quarterback that played at Delta High.
Super Bowl quarterback.
Super Bowl quarterback.
Give me the Super Bowl. Teens, 20s, 30s.
Super Bowl quarterback for the Patriots.
Tony Eason?
Yes.
Really? Champagne Tony?
Absolutely. Delta High, and then University of Illinois.
Yeah.
His brother Bo went to UC Davis. Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought, well, where'd Tony go? Where'd he go to? He went to Illinois.
Illinois. Yeah. So anyway, that's our run through. So what's your final number? My prediction is that I got 9 of the 14 still remaining through the playoffs.
I've got 10 because I added Mariposa. We were in lockstep until the Mariposa Colfax.
Okay. Well, last week we had a lot of great games, and our photographers took a lot of great pictures, and here's some of them with some really cool music.
So I hope you enjoyed those really fine pictures. And if we were on a Hollywood set and the continuity guy would notice that my pen is no longer in my pocket.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you shaved your beard. Oh, no, you didn't.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're through week 2 of the playoffs. It's getting a little nippy out there, but it's supposed to be clear weather
That's right.
Friday night. So there's no excuse. We've got 14 teams remaining. So again, one of them has to be your alma mater, or the alma mater of a friend, or an alma mater of a friend's friend. So just go out and watch some playoff football.